Welcome to our channel Ink and Insights. Today, we explore one of the most fascinating adventure novels in English literature, Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. This is not just a story of travel and fantasy, but a deep satire on human nature, politics, society, and pride. Let's dive into the strange journeys of Lemuel Gulliver and uncover the powerful meanings behind them. Published in 1726, Gulliver's Travels is a satirical novel that follows the adventures of Lemuel Gulliver, a ship surgeon. He travels to mysterious and imaginary lands. Swift uses fantasy to criticize politics, science, human arrogance, and the flaws of civilization. Gulliver's first journey takes him to Lilliput, a land where people are only 6 inches tall. At first, they fear him, but later treat him as a giant hero. However, Gulliver soon realizes that despite their small size, the Lilliputians are full of pride, jealousy, and political conflicts. Swift uses Lilliput to mock petty politics and the foolishness of leaders who fight over meaningless differences. This part of the story shows that small minds can exist in powerful positions. In his second journey, Gulliver finds himself in Brobdingnag, where everything is gigantic, and he becomes the tiny one. Here, Gulliver feels weak and insignificant. The king of Brobdingnag listens to Gulliver describe European civilization. The king is shocked by its violence and corruption. Through this reversal, Swift forces readers to see humanity from a different perspective, exposing how cruel and flawed human society can be. In the third journey, Gulliver visits Laputa, a floating island inhabited by scientists and thinkers obsessed with strange experiments. These people are lost in abstract theories and useless inventions, ignoring real-life problems. Swift criticizes blind faith in science and intellectual arrogance. He warns that knowledge without practicality can become meaningless. In his final and darkest journey, Gulliver reaches the land of the Houyhnhnms, intelligent horses who live peacefully and rationally. They rule over the Yahoos, ugly and savage creatures that resemble humans. This shocks Gulliver deeply. For the first time, he begins to hate humanity and admire the calm, logical horses. By the end of the novel, Gulliver becomes so disgusted with human nature that he struggles to live among people again. This final journey presents Swift's most powerful message, questioning whether humans are truly civilized. One of the central themes of Gulliver's Travels is satire. Swift uses humor and fantasy to criticize real-world issues. Another major theme is human pride. Throughout the novel, Swift shows how humans believe they are superior, yet behave foolishly and cruelly. The novel also explores perspective and relativity. In different lands, Gulliver is sometimes powerful and sometimes helpless, reminding us that truth often depends on perspective. Finally, the story reflects on civilization versus savagery, asking whether humans are truly rational beings. Even today, Gulliver's Travels remains relevant because it exposes timeless human flaws, pride, corruption, blind ambition, and hypocrisy. It teaches us to question authority, think critically, and remain humble about human progress. What makes this novel truly powerful is that beneath its fantasy lies a deep and sometimes uncomfortable truth about ourselves. Gulliver's Travels is more than an adventure story. It is a mirror held up to humanity, revealing both our greatness and our weaknesses. Through strange lands and unforgettable encounters, Jonathan Swift reminds us that sometimes the biggest journeys are not across oceans, but into understanding human nature itself. Subscribe for more deep dives.